Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So today what I want to do is take apart this air compressor. Found it on garbage day, unfortunately it doesn't work. The nice thing about an air compressor is a lot of it is scrappable material. This entire canister here is metal. There's some metal in the top part. There's a copper bearing motor. There's a lot of different brass nozzles and there's a little bit of silver. So what I want to do today is I'm going to take it apart for you, show you how to separate the metals and how to maximize your profit. For the sake of this video, I have already removed some of the outer screws. It did come with a plastic cover, or it usually has a plastic cover. The person actually took it off and left me with this. But there is a little bit more plastic here. Unfortunately, in our municipality, we can't do anything with the plastic other than throw it in the landfill. You know, diverting as much away from the landfill as possible is definitely a plus. I have already removed the hose. The coil is plastic, so this is going to go in the garbage. But there are two really nice brass connectors here, and these connectors, there is a little bit of steel in there. I could cut this off and put this into my dirty brass and get about 50 cents a pound. But I could also make this clean very easily. And all I'm gonna do eventually in a little bit is I'm gonna actually just take a grinder and I'm gonna grind this in half, and then I can open it up and I will be able to actually separate the steel from the brass, and I will get $1.85 for the clean brass. So I'm gonna do that in a bit. I have also, for the sake of time, removed the screws on the outside here. I have also taken off the plastic shell. So this is plastic going in the garbage, but it has removed a copper bearing motor here, as well a dirty cast motor drive, whatever we call this. I'm not sure on the proper terminology, but I have removed the screws for this. This is metal and cast aluminum. Clean cast aluminum, you find it on frying pans, you find it on different appliances. Cast aluminum clean is about 25 to 30 cents a pound. It's gone down because of the COVID. This, because it has steel and cast aluminum, it would be classified as dirty cast, which is about 5 cents a pound. You definitely want to separate this from your steel because you're going to get a lot more for dirty cast than just steel. So some dirty cast. I have here now a copper motor, and they come in different shapes. I've actually removed another motor from another air compressor a little while ago, and as you can see, the difference in color of the copper. So it depends on the motor, it depends on the model. These copper bearing motors, I could throw them into a pile as is and get about 10 cents a pound, or very easily and worth your while is to separate the number 2 copper inside here. Number 2 copper is about $2.85 right now compared to 10 cents for a motor. It is very simple to do. I actually have a video on various copper bearing motors, how to separate them. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. This one, I am going to show you how to do it. There is a top to it. I've already removed the 2 screws. And what happens is this part pops out and it is 2 pieces. This, because the copper inside is very tightly wound, I cannot separate this effectively. It's not worth my time. So this will still go into my copper bearing motor pile. This now, first thing I want to do before I actually take it apart is I'm going to take a file. Sometimes it looks like copper, but when you rub it, it actually has a metallic look underneath, and that means that it is aluminum, just coated. So it's not worth my time to separate it. But if I put a file to this one, you can see that that is copper. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 incisions, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to pop it out using a screwdriver. Okay, so I already have my angle grinder set up. I am also just gonna quickly hit these two little cases here, or just use a pair of pliers and just to get them out of the way. I want to make sure there's no zip ties in the way either to kind of stop this from coming up. Okay, so very simple, 2 incisions. I am going to put a glove on just in case because I'm pretty accident prone. I'm also going to put a visor on. And put it in my vise. Okay, the sparks did not come from the copper. It just it comes from the steel end. It just tells me that I've broken through. And I'm just going to show you. Turn it over. Put it in my vise again. And I'm just going to use science and leverage to pull this out. 1, 2. So there you go. So here is some nice copper. I will take this little plastic outing coating off of it. There is some coated brass right there that I'm going to put into my coated brass pile. But what I do with this is I store it up and put it into a number 2 bag. And I've actually just returned 55 pounds of number 2 copper from Copperberry Motors. So 55 pounds times $2.85. That was a pretty nice load. And it did not take me that long to do. So very simple. There you go. And I also still have the steel from the Copperberry motor, which will go into my steel pile. Okay, I'm going to just take this faceplate off, remove the last couple screws. Looking up, there's one. I missed one. Alright, unscrew that. Okay, so this is the remaining piece of plastic that is going to my garbage. I also have, and I forgot to say this, the power cord that goes with the compressor. In Canada, these go for about $1 a pound. This is almost a pound. And it also has on the tip some nice clean brass prongs. Sometimes if they are metallic looking, those will be coated brass. Some people leave them on, some people take them off and separate them. Because these are my clean brass, I will take these off because they're going to be worth more than my cord put together. So I just add up my clean brass and I'll put it away. Very easy to do. I just take a pair of pliers and bend them off. But a nice power cord. Okay, it has, as you can see, a nice brass nozzle right there. It also has right here a silver contact box. And I'm going to take that off right now. And another brass end that just needs to be unscrewed. So that's going to be clean brass as well. It also has some lower grade copper wire. So it is important, mixed grade, lower grade is about 20 cents a pound. When you go to the scrapyard, you're going to want to separate this from your power cord. So if you have it all together, they're going to give you lower price. Okay, so 20 cents, $1, makes sense to separate them. So make sure you do. Okay, I'm just going to, also there's another copper valve right here in the bottom that will just be unscrewed. Okay, but I'm going to take this silver contact box off with a pair of pliers. Hopefully it comes out. Okay, it's just screwed on there. There we go. Okay, and this has some really nice brass prongs on it. And if I hit this with a hammer, there's actually going to be a little piece of silver. So these are going to go into my brass, coated brass. And a silver contact, I'm just going to show you an example. You'll find these circular items on compressors as well. But what they are is just a small piece right there of silver. So as you can see there, that little dot is silver. What I do is I will take that, I will put it into a little vial, and hopefully one day I will hit it with some nitric acid and make a little silver bouillon. Okay, and as well, after I hit it and I take the silver out, I'm still gonna put these two prongs into my coated brass. I'm also going to, okay, so this is magnetic, so this nut will be steel. Okay, so some really nice brass here. Take this one off. Okay, so you want to make sure before you put it into your clean brass, you rub a magnet against it. Sometimes it will have steel inside. Okay, so there's obviously this loop is going to have to come off in order to get the proper value for it. Okay, if I threw this in with steel on it, like I said, I'm significantly lowering my price. And there is really no steel inside. This is going to be all brass, so that's a nice score. I just have to remove this. Okay. I also have the valve that goes with it. This is dirty cast with a little bit of brass in it as well. I do have to remove the steel tube here, but this is another piece of dirty cast. And I'm going to just show you this hose, how to maximize your profit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this hose off. Some people will take things like this and sell it on eBay. I don't, but definitely could be an option. Okay. And other than that, taking these last two brass nozzles off, this is now going to go into my steel pile. And this is about 6-7 pounds of steel. The scrapyards are not going to say anything about the gauges on here because of the price of steel. So this is definitely a nice tank to divert from the landfill. Okay, I'm going to take this. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it into my vise, and I'm going to just make one incision down both sides. I want to make sure that for this, it is going to get hot. So I do want to make sure I wear gloves so I don't burn myself. I'm also going to, as I said, wear a visor just to help protect myself. So depending on your blade side, you might not be able to reach it at both ends. I can't, so I'm just going to turn it over. That's just a small little mastercraft that I have here. Okay, so as I said, it is hot, but as you can see, inside, I'll just take a magnet, that is your steel. Okay, so there's some springs that go around it. And now, just using a couple incisions, I was able to turn, could be about 50 cents a pound to $1.85. So definitely a good tool. Make sure I get all the steel out of it. There's a piece here. And as I said, make sure you wear gloves because it is a little bit warm. But definitely a copper or compressor is worth your time. So just to recap, what do I have here other than the little bit of plastic, that comes off here and the cover that's going into the landfill. I do also have a steel bracket that I'm going to take off there and the brass end there. But I have some really nice number 2 copper. I have some dirty cast aluminum. I have a copper buried motor. I have lots of steel. I do have a couple brass ends to take off. And lastly, I have some lower grade copper wire, and higher grade, and a silver contact. So all in all, a great find, and most importantly, another appliance or electronic diverted from the landfill. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video. Tin Man out.